have to be, equally strong with both hands. So I do use my right hand. I was looking, I don't know if either one of you saw the Beatles documentary. I saw the beginning of it, and I hadn't remembered it, but Paul McCartney plays the guitar left-handed. If you look at it, you'll see that he has the guitar switched around the other way from the way most people have it. And I played the guitar when I was, a kid, and I never did that. I played it the regular way, even though I was left-handed, which is interesting because in the left hand is where you do the more complicated stuff. It's where you play the notes and the chords. And it would seem like it'd be a natural instrument for left-handed people, but he switched it around.
Okay, well, we're going to rock and roll. We actually are already live streaming, so that fantastic little bit was out there to the entire world.
That is fine.
We are
no
live
problem. I'm happy for that.
And
I am happy for that.
That's all going. And so I'm going to kick this thing off. Hi, this is Bill Prater, and welcome to Business Mastery Insights. Our purpose is to provide you with timely, provocative, and actionable resources that inspire, promote, and accelerate your quest for business excellence. Today's show is building a firm foundation for your business by building your email list. 3 quick start techniques with today's guest, Ellen Finkelstein. Now, Ellen is a PowerPoint MVP. Now, you may not have heard of that because there's a little teeny community of only 18 of those in the whole USA. She's best known for her website, which is www.ellenfinkelstein.com. And you'll go there and you'll find that she's also a PowerPoint expert willing to give you lots of tips. Talking about power, though, she's also known as one of the world's most foremost experts in everything to do with the list building. So today she'll give us a brief overview, then she'll cover those 3 techniques that get you started with your list building activities super fast. After that, I'm going to shut down the live stream, and we'll privately meet with our CEO Alliance members and go into a little workshop exercise that Ellen has cooked up for us. If you would like to consider joining us there in the Alliance, just go to ceoalliance.vip. So, Ellen.
No, you got it wrong. It's ceoalliance.vip. I thought it was .com/VIP.
It is, in fact, ceoalliance.vip.
Okay, sorry.
So, yeah, that's it. So, Ellen, take us away on today's journey, if you will.
Excellent. So, thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited. I'm actually going to give you 5 techniques and as well as explain the 3 premises, the 3 little exercises that I'm going to do in the workshop for the CEO Alliance, but I won't go into them for everybody. So I think there's going to be a lot of information for you. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And I know everybody asks, can you see my screen? But because I have 2 monitors, I want to make actually very clear that you're seeing my full screen slides.
Absolutely do.
Excellent. And the reason is that I am looking at presenter view where I can see my notes. So I'm looking at something different than what you're seeing, and that's why it gets a little confusing.
So now we've learned a little tip on PowerPointing also. Thanks, Ellen.
And I do want to also mention, because you mentioned ellenfinkelstein.com, that I'm actually focusing here on another website of mine, which is changetheworldmarketing.com, where I do teach people about online marketing. And that's a different website. So anyway, that's okay. Both things are true. So I wanted to start by saying that your subscribers are your most important community. And what I mean by that is that that is where you have people who are interested in what you have to offer. These are people who signed up to get your emails. And so they are your raving fans. And social media companies can cancel your accounts. Your followers might decide to leave Facebook. People are doing that these days, or Instagram or so on. But your email subscriber list is something you own. I want to tell you a story about something I found out just a couple of days ago. I don't know if you've heard about ClickFunnels, but it's an online platform where you can create pages and you can store your email list and so on like that. And a colleague of mine had been doing a whole 30-day summit on ClickFunnels, and it was hacked, and he lost he had 10,000 people on his list. I think by now maybe he's gotten it back, but at some point he had lost access to his email. They lost access to all the pages. The whole thing was hacked. And so I just really want to emphasize the fact that, first of all, I just did this yesterday. I downloaded, my assistant does it every month, downloaded my email list, and then I store it on Amazon. So I have an in the cloud, a place in case maybe my email list, would get hacked, or would get, the company would go out of business, or who knows what. So it's just, that's how important this is as an asset for you, that you should, be backing it up, and that it belongs to you and only you, as opposed to, like I said, your social media followers and so on like that. Really, really important. Your list is a powerful, valuable, and amazing asset for your business. And it's like this foundation. I used a picture of a foundation. You look at that picture and you can see that they've poured concrete in there, and they've put all those, I don't know what you call those metal things in there.
Rebar, Ellen.
Thank you, rebar. Thank you. But you know from that building will be strong. Okay, that was the purpose of using that kind of picture. And so you know that you can sell to your list. So if you want to make offers to your list, that's obviously an important reason for having your list. But there's another reason that sometimes people don't realize, and that now Bill and I have been partnering with each other. Okay, so I promote him, and sometimes he promotes me. And so your list is also valuable for creating partnerships with other people. Today, I interviewed somebody who has a list of 300,000 people, and he wants me to promote him, and then he'll promote me. And so by having your list, you can work with other people and grow your list even more, and grow your reach even more. So it's not only that you're just selling to those people in your business, but you're also partnering with other people. And the fact that I have my list is valuable to other people, who will then be valuable to me. So I just want you to get that other reason for the value of your subscriber list. So I wanted to tell you a story of Change the World Marketing and how I started my list. And this is a blog post that I wrote in 2011 in November. And in it, I said, I promise to tell you everything I'm doing to grow my email list, because I know many people are stumped in this regard. And so I showed a picture of a screenshot of how many people I had on my list. And I said, last time I posted on this topic, my email list was 52. That was 2.5 weeks ago. What did I do? So the first thing I want you to know is that everybody starts from zero, okay? You shouldn't feel bad if you have a small list. But what happened with this was that when I wrote this, and then maybe a month later, I realized I wasn't really doing a very good job of growing my list. And I thought I knew how to do it. And I was promising to tell people how to do it. I thought I was an expert, and I wasn't. And I had to go and learn and figure out how to do this. And the reason I thought I was an expert had to do with that other website that Bill mentioned, ellenfinkelstein.com, which I started in 1999. And it was a long time ago. It was an author platform. And I created a huge amount of content about PowerPoint, also about AutoCAD. And my list there just kind of grew by itself, by me creating a lot of content. And partly it was because of the topic, and it was a long time ago. It was easier to get people on your list. And so I thought I knew how to do it. And then when I started with this new, later on with this new website, it wasn't working. And I had to figure out all these other ways of doing this. And it was a little scary. I had a mortgage and so on like that. And I needed to make this business work as well. And so I got some coaches, and I tried out different things. I think some worked and some didn't. I'm going to tell you the things that worked today. And so this was a recent email that I sent out. This is a screenshot from my email service where I met a goal that I've had for a long time, which is to have a list of 10,000. And so you can do that. You can start from nothing, and you can get to 10,000. Now, I do want to say that your list isn't everything, okay? And so I'm going to show you something I call the Business Triad. It's the 3 components of an online business. And when you put these elements together, you have the basis for a successful online business. And so this is what it looks like. Okay, it starts with your audience. We've been talking about your subscriber list is one of your audiences, certainly. But then you need to have a relationship with your audience. And I see this in my coaching clients too often, that they do something to build their audience, and then they get involved with creating some product or something, and they just can't figure out how to keep on sending emails to their list. And so they ignore their list for 6 months, 12 months, that kind of thing. And so they lose that relationship with their audience that you need for people to feel like they know, like, and trust you and respect your knowledge, so that you can then make them an offer that's relevant to that audience. So those are the 3 pieces of the business triad: your audience, the relationship you have with that audience, and offers that are relevant to that audience. So the audience isn't everything, but it does start with your audience. So how do you grow your list? That's what we're here for today, right? The usual ways to grow your list, and you probably are familiar with these, and it's not that they're bad methods, but I am going to give you some unusual ways as well. So the first one is search engine optimization. And the second one is promoting your freebie on social media, your free offer, your lead generator. And the third one is advertising. And I want to go into each one of these just briefly. So what happened with ellenfinkelstein.com was that because my topics were AutoCAD and PowerPoint, and because they were so specific, it was really easy to come up with search terms. I chose PowerPoint tips and AutoCAD tips. And by using those over and over again, I was able to get really strong search engine optimization. It was not only search engine optimization, but over time I got a lot of traffic. I still do get a lot of traffic to that website. And so if you have enough content and the right keywords, SEO can be really powerful. It's just when you're doing something a little bit more general, like, having an online business, that's so much more general. It's harder to get results with SEO. So the disadvantage is that the results come slowly over time. And it's also fairly time consuming to implement, to do the research, to find the right keywords, and to create enough content so that it brings people to you, and then to have Google say, okay, this is good. And so now I'm going to put you at the top of the list of when people search. So that's search engine optimization. The second one is promoting your freebie on social media. So I do this all the time. There's nothing negative about it. It will attract the right people to your list. It shouldn't take you long to create and implement. And I do use this. What I find, though, is that most people promote their freebie kind of sporadically, so they don't get the large numbers of people that they need signing up. And when I give you one of the techniques from the workshop, we'll fix that disadvantage. And the third one, of course, is ads. Ads automate the process of promoting your free offer, and when they work, they can be very effective. I do have some disadvantages. This is based on my experience. They can be expensive, although I will say that you should start ads at a very low ad spend, and make sure it works before you spend more money on it. Ads can be confusing to set up and evaluate. There's a lot of data that you have to go through. I actually do recommend that you go with a professional. And the other thing that people don't realize is that your ad is only good as the conversion of your opt-in page. So usually you're sending people to a free offer. And if that page doesn't convert well, you can send 1 million people to that page, but if only 1%, well, if you send 1 million people, even 1% would be good, but however many people you send, if your conversion rate is very low on that page, you're not going to get nearly the result that you could. So you really need to create a well-converting page and offer in general before you go to ads. And a lot of people don't realize that. And finally, it takes a lot of trial and error to get an ad to work. So what you do is you create multiple ads versions and see which one works best and get rid of the worst one. You go through this whole process to optimize the ad. So a lot of work. So I'm going to now go through 5 techniques that I think are more unusual, but are very effective. It's not that you might not have heard of them, but they're just not used that much. So as much as they should. So the first one is to partner with someone who has a list of your target market and trade recommendations for your free offers. So this morning I mentioned I spoke with someone who has a list of 300,000. He wants to partner with me. And so that's what we're going to do. As I'm going to promote his free offer and he's going to promote my free offer. And it's such an easy thing to do, but people don't do it enough. And there are various reasons for that. Sometimes people only focus on paid offers. They just want to get commissions, or they want to sell, they want to sell depending on which side they are. But so this thing of we call this a freebie swap. And just doing that freebie swap is a very valuable way to grow your list. You send out 1 to 3 emails, promoting your partner's free offer, and your partner does the same for you. So I have a little special tip for that one, and that is to use a trackable link, or just look at your subscribers before and after if nobody else is promoting you and you're not promoting yourself, which you should be. But anyway, you want some way to measure your results. That's the point. I use a redirect. There's something called Pretty Links, and I use something that's similar to that you can see how many clicks came on that. And so you give your partner that link, and then you can see how many clicks that person generated for you. By the way, Bill, I know we're going to have a question and answer period, but I wouldn't, I'm okay to take a couple of questions if somebody is there. And because I'm looking at my notes, you would have to kind of come in and give me the chat, give me the questions, so you can.
Yeah.
You can
so for everybody, Ellen's just given us a nice tool. If you look over by reactions, you'll see, go over on the bottom of your Zoom screen, third from the right, in my case, it says reactions. And there's a little tool there that says raise hand. If you do that, then I'll be able to see that and unmute your mic, and you can ask Ellen a question whenever it occurs to you.
Okay, great. So that's number 1, is we call it the freebie swap. Number 2 is to use hashtags in your social media posts, and then include a link to your blog post or your free offer in those social media posts. So of course, everybody does social media posts with a link to your blog or post, but the use of hashtags, we're so familiar using them in Twitter, but we don't realize that we can also use them in Facebook and in LinkedIn. And people often don't use them very much or enough, except for spammers who use too many of them. But without hashtags, only your followers see your social media posts. But their whole point is to get non-followers, okay? So with hashtags, people who are searching for your topic can find them, and then they will click they will find that post, and then they'll click the link in the post, and they'll go to your website and hopefully subscribe. And you should have some type of offer, whether free or paid, at the bottom of your blog post. You should also have a sign up on every blog page, on the right side or something like that, or a pop-up, whatever. But those don't convert nearly as well as something that's naturally follows from the content in your blog post. You're giving them something to do, and you can say, next step. Okay, here's your next step. Download this worksheet and you can get it done yourself, something like that. And so
Ellen, I do have a question.
Good. Okay.
And so I think what you just said is, if you do a social media post on, say, for example, LinkedIn, the only people that'll see it will be your followers, unless you use 1, 2, or 3 or more hashtags. Then somebody searching for something that sees that particular keyword has a chance to go see your social media post.
Exactly.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Now there is an exception. That's if you post in a group.
Okay.
And then people in the group will see it. And that I do recommend doing that. But if you're posting on your timeline, right, only your followers would see it. If that wasn't true, then every time somebody posted on LinkedIn, you would see every post ever, anyone's posting on LinkedIn, and that's not how it works. So only people who follow you see it, and you're looking to get a wider audience than that. Okay. So there are some tips about finding, you could just do a search, finding trending topics, for example, so that you can kind of piggyback on what's hot, currently, some things like that. So if you do a search, I have some specific things, but if you do a search for, find trending hashtags, you'll find some tools that will help you do that.
Thanks, Ellen.
So the third one is to have multiple free offers in multiple formats and to promote them all regularly. And this is also related to one of the topics that we're going to cover in the workshop section of this. Most people have one free offer, but the thing is that not everybody's interested in the same thing. First of all, people always want something that's new. But also different people like different formats. Some people prefer text, some people prefer video or audio, but also even different topics. You might have people at different places in your customer journey. Some people are more beginners, some people are more advanced, or your topic that you cover might be broad enough. So for me, some people are more interested in list building, some people are more interested in content creation, and I do teach both. And so I need to have freebies for all of those things. So I just want to give you some ideas for different types of freebies that you want to be promoting on social media and with partners. Remember the freebie swap. So ebooks or guides, templates. So an example of a template for me, I might have some PowerPoint templates, some actual sample slides. Okay, so that people can use those sample slides and customize them for their own slides and create beautiful slides that way. You can give people presentations that they can use, research and report. So like a white paper, something like that. That might be a good freebie if you're in the B2B business, area. Live webinars are actually freebies, so that's something you can offer. Some people like to attend something live. On-demand videos, so that's something that is recorded, but it's a video. So those are just some of the examples of things that you could do. Also the other thing is checklists, tip sheets, and worksheets. So these days, people often want a quick win, and people are busy. I guess people were busy 5 years ago too, but it seems like people are always busier and busier. And so something short and quick, like a checklist or a tip sheet or a worksheet, is also really useful for people. So that's the thing that I think people, and there's some research on this. HubSpot and a couple of other organizations did some research. HubSpot, I don't know if you're on their list, but their list is like huge. And they have like many free offers. They're always putting out free offers to their list. And you go, well, I'm already on your list. Why do you need to do that? But people sign up for new things, and then they tell their friends about it. And so their research shows that the more free offers you have, the larger your list, the more people will come to you. So number 4, in your emails, invite subscribers to forward your emails to their friends, and then include the link to subscribe. So you can do this as a PS if you want. I've seen people put it at the top, but your subscribers are sharing your emails. You just don't necessarily know it. They're forwarding it to their friends and they're saying, hey, this is interesting. But if there isn't an obvious way for recipients to subscribe, then when those people receive that email, it won't be easy for them to sign up and become subscribers. So you just need to say, if somebody forwarded this to you and you would like to get this yourself, this is where you go, that kind of thing. And I have this as a PPS at the bottom of every single email I send out. And the other thing is to email often. This will turn off a few people, but engage others, and they'll be more likely to forward your email to their friends. And finally, do a free webinar. I've done this 2 or 3 times, and the specific technique, some people call it a panel webinar, but the main concept is that you're giving out free information without selling. Although one time I did this with 3 people, and 3 of us did have a low priced offer. Each one of us did. But I've also done it when we just, we advertise it as a no selling webinar. We don't have an offer at all. And you could attract people that way. People kind of often know, especially in, online business, that every webinar is going to have an offer at the end of it. And they're kind of jaded about that. So the idea of offering a free webinar where there's nothing to buy, you're not making an offer, you're not even asking people to make an appointment to even discuss it with you, you're just providing information. This can be a very powerful list building technique, and it's more powerful.
Ellen,
Yep.
Before we leave these 5 pointers, Tony has a question for you.
Okay.
And so here comes Tony's question. And then I have a footnote, Ellen, to offer also.
Sure.
Hello, Ellen.
Hi.
My question is, I'm soon to launch a book.
Mm-hmm.
The best way, so my question is, what's the best way to use a book to build an email list?
Well, the first thing you should do, Tony, is get one of your buddies to write a foreword for you.
Oh,
I owe you, Tony. I'll get back to you. I promise. Tomorrow.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay. So anyway, congratulations on that book coming out. And so what I recommend, are you going to publish it on Amazon? Is that how it's going to come out?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So what you need to do is have the offer in the book for something free. And it should be near the beginning of the book. So when it goes on Amazon, there's this feature where people can look inside it. And if it's at the beginning, even people who don't buy the book, who are considering it, can see that offer. And so you need to have a short URL that people can type, because they're looking, they can't click a link there if they don't, especially if they don't buy the book. And so a short link that says something that's like a no-brainer for them, like, get the workbook that goes with this book, or so that you can implement it, or attend my free masterclass. You could have like a pre-recorded video that goes into much more detail about this, or what, I don't know what the topic it is, but something. And so then you have a link that goes to an opt-in page, and then the opt-in page, it's the regular opt-in page process where people get on your list. So it's really important that you do that. And I would put it on the front and back page, the cover and the back page of the book, just a really short link. So your URL / book or something, something really quick, so that people can, quickly go there, and so they get to your opt-in page. And then when you promote the book, you're automatically promoting that as well. Now you'll probably have some kind of launch, and you can launch with partners, and you can have bonuses. So there's a whole launch process where you give people bonuses if they buy during that launch, and then they have to opt in to get those as well. And you have partners who are promoting it for you, and so they bring people to your opt-in page. And however you actually do that. So those are some techniques.
Okay, so a couple of footnotes. Tony, you can lower your hand, otherwise you would think you have another question. So number one, it's not often known that it's actually sometimes extremely easy to get a URL like gettonysgift.com. It's worth going to look. I've got 10 or 12 that are that simple. Things like Talk with Bill and watch Bill's webinar. And what's amazing is, of course, it's better if your name is something unusual, but you'll be surprised at how in 3 or 4 words you might be able to get something. And then that would play in to Ellen's pointer about have a URL that's easy to remember. Part 2 about this free webinar that Ellen's talking about. So as you all know, we are live streaming this, and it's going to my LinkedIn and going to my YouTube. On LinkedIn, it's going to a live event. And now you've got to be accepted within LinkedIn to do a live event. It's a little little application process. But what happens is that when people see this event in my LinkedIn, they have to opt in to see it. Opt in means they basically just click a link. So it's simple to them. But LinkedIn then allows me to download their names and email addresses.
Yeah, so right. And so part of the process of launching your book is you could do some LinkedIn events, for example.
Right.
Yeah. Good.
Great question, Tony. Thank you. Thanks, Ellen.
Yes. So just to go on about this free webinar concept and a LinkedIn event, and what we're doing now could be considered a free webinar as well. I just want to make it clear that when you do any opt-in, but certainly when you do an opt-in with a partner, it needs to be clear on the opt-in page, usually below the opt-in form, that people will get onto a list. This complies with the GDPR law. But in this case, you want to make sure that people know they're getting on 2 lists or 3 lists,
Right.
as well. So you just need to be honest about that when you do this specific thing that people are getting on both lists. And then after it, whoever's hosting the event has that list, and then they export it and give it to the other person.
Correct.
So that's how that's done. Okay, so I wanted to go through now 3 techniques that are going to be in the workshop portion of this. I'm going to tell you what they are briefly. We'll do it as a workshop for the members later. But the first one is just to create your freebie. And basically what I recommend is finding out what's your most pressing problem for your target market, and coming up with some ideas that offer a quick win for that, and creating something short. And I'd say this not because you shouldn't create something a little bit more involved at all, but it's really useful to make sure that you have also something short for people, because some people just won't ever read anything more than 4 pages, to tell you, unfortunately. So, or a 10-minute video. So come up with something short. And I want to go through the process, if you don't have a free offer yet, of creating the free offer and implementing it. So this is a little bit technical, but you have to do this with your email service provider. And your email service, unless you're doing something online like ClickFunnels we were talking about, but there are others as well that are, Kartra has something like this where everything is done online. But assuming that you have your own website where you're putting your pages, and you have an email service provider, this is the most common situation. You can get the code for the opt-in form from your email service provider, and you set up a new list or a new tag, however different email service providers call it different things. And you create an opt-in that when it's filled out, it tags people or puts people in that list. And you set up the settings so that afterwards they go to a thank you page. So you're going to have 3 pages: an opt-in page, a thank you page, and a delivery page. And then you're also going to create autoresponders. And autoresponders are also done in your email service provider. So you create these follow-up emails that are sent out automatically. One of them usually happens immediately. And after that, you're just trying to develop that relationship with your list that we were talking about. That's part of the Business Triad. But that first email is going to have a link to the delivery page. And the delivery page is going to have a link to the actual thing that you're giving people. It could be a video right on that page, but it could be a download if it's a PDF, let's say. And you need to find a place to store that PDF. If you have WordPress, it would be in your media library, but you can put it on Google Docs or on Amazon S3 or in Dropbox or wherever you want to put your things online, so people can just go and download it. So that's the structure of an opt-in. There's an opt-in page with an opt-in form that you've created in your email service provider so that it It puts people on a list and sends people to the thank you page. And the thank you page just says, thank you for signing up and look for an email. That's kind of basically what it says. And then the email, that first autoresponder says, thank you for signing up. And here's where you go to get it. And then you send them to that delivery page where they can download it. So I just wanted to go through that little thing. And in the workshop portion, we'll have people go through the process of brainstorming ideas and titles and a structure, an outline for their free offer. So that's the first thing. The second piece of it is the second technique that I wanted to talk about was promoting your free offer in a very systematic way on social media. And the place that I find, I mentioned groups. We were talking a little bit about hashtags, and I mentioned groups. And groups are very powerful for reaching people that are not already on your list. And so if you can find groups of people groups that have people in your target market that allow you to post, once you have that, you can be very systematic about it. Now in Facebook, there's this custom, I don't know, and I think it depends on the topic, but certainly in the online marketing world, there's this custom of letting people post on certain days. And so if you can find, a group that lets you post on Monday, like mine does, my Change the World Marketing Facebook group, I let people post a link on Mondays. There's a thread for that. And people come in and post links to their free offer. And then you find some place to do it on Tuesday and some places, so on like that. And then maybe the next week, if you have a second free offer, you can go through a similar thing like that. So you're not always posting the same thing. And you can post links to blog posts also. The idea is that every day you are somewhere promoting something. And once you have this all set up with the links, it's really, it goes into a spreadsheet, and it's really easy to outsource this, because the person who is doing it for you has the text and has a picture if necessary, and has all the links that they do, on this day I post here, and this day I post here, and this day I post here. And it just gets done automatically. And so you get this stream of new people. And it doesn't give you millions of people, but you will have constant growth in your list that way by regularly and systematically promoting to groups. LinkedIn groups also. I even use a Reddit subreddit for PowerPoint, for example. So lots of places to look. I think Reddit subreddits are not used enough. And the third thing I wanted to talk about is a giveaway. So before I go on, I want to explain what a giveaway is, because the word is used in two completely different ways. And so people sometimes misunderstand it. So if, let's say Procter & Gamble or whatever, some company does a giveaway on their Facebook page, what they mean by that is really a sweepstakes that, if you sign up here, you'll have, we'll give out some prizes, and only a few people get those prizes. That's what a sweepstakes is. Some people win the prize and the rest of the people don't, but they get a lot of people to sign up in order to do that. And you can do that as well. Facebook does, by the way, have some rules for that, that you have to follow. But I'm talking about something different, which is a giveaway in which partners come together to contribute gifts, and everybody who does that promotes this giveaway. And so it's a partnership type of thing. But what's so cool, so there are a couple of cool things about it, actually. First of all, I've done this twice and gotten 1,000 people on my list, like within a space of 2 weeks of the actual giveaway. So it's a very powerful technique. So that's one thing. The other thing is that the people who contribute, they don't get everybody on their list. They only get the people on their list who choose their gift. So it's a list building event for them too. That's why they make the contribution. But for you as the organizer, you get everybody. So you have maybe 20 people who are promoting this, and they're all bringing their people to you, and you can grow your list by a lot. The third thing that's really cool about it is, unlike a sweepstakes, when people register for it, they can everybody gets gifts, right? So those are contributions, and your delivery page has all of the gifts on it. People choose whatever they want. They can get anything they want. And the last thing that's kind of cool about it is just that it's really the same structure as your opt-in page. So you can do it in a complicated way. You can make it very complex, but actually the structure that I just explained to you about how to do your opt-in is the exact same structure you use for a giveaway. So you have an opt-in page, right? And people opt into the giveaway. And then you have a thank you page that says, look for an email. And then you have that first order respondent that says, go here. But in this case, it says, go here to collect your gifts. And then you have a delivery page. And instead of just having one gift like your freebie, it has a list of every gift. And so as contributors give you their gifts, they give you the URL and for it, and you just list them there, a picture and the name of it and its value, and here's where you go to get it. And each one of those links are all it's separate opt-in pages on those people's sites, but people can, it's just a page listing those gifts. And so the structure of it is the same as an opt-in pay, as a freebie. And so it's not something that is hard to do. The thing that's hard about a giveaway is simply herding the cats of your contributors, asking them and getting them to say yes, and then getting them to actually do what they said they would do. That herding cats beforehand is really what's hard. But the actual structure of the technology or the infrastructure of the giveaway is nothing different from your usual free offer.
So now, Ellen, we've got 60 seconds and I want to get into the workshop. Is that going to work for you?
Yeah, no, I'm actually done. I just wanted to give people this free workbook, so the timing is actually perfect.
Perfect.
Yes. And so I have 5 more unusual ways to grow your list in this guide. And that whole workbook that I'm going to be using in this workshop with those 3 projects that I really just explained there, but in a workbook format. And so this is where you go. This is not such a short list, but I will put it in the chat. So I think I can do that. Let me just type that to everybody. So you can get this whole workbook, about a 20-page workbook.
So this is an example of a free gift, Ellen, that you're describing, right? This would be a PDF example.
Yes, it is a PDF. It's a good example of a free offer. And so when you go to this page, I just put it in the chat. When you go to that page, you'll see an opt-in form. And then once you complete that, you'll get to a thank you page. And then you'll get an email that will say, go to this page where you can actually pick up the guide. So it's a good example of what I was just talking about. And you'll get not only the first 5 techniques I covered, but another 5 techniques and an actual workbook to work through some of these 3 techniques of creating your free opt-in and promoting your free opt-in and creating a giveaway.
Okay, so for those of you who may not know, you can see in the chat a balloon down at the bottom. If you click on that, there's an option. You can do that before you leave the call to download the chat. So you don't have to even take notes. It'll download to your computer. So for everybody, Ellen is a full-fledged member of CEO Alliance. So she's here. So reach out to her, and she has a unbelievable amount of free things to help you with. Plus, she's got a full-blown coaching practice and online training, etc. So take the time to reach out to her whenever you feel you might need some help in this space. I'm now going to first clear my throat, shut down the stream.